So this is my little electric incense heater. So it has a little, a few of these, and so you can wash them out and use different ones for different incense. You put the lid on, and then it has this thing that, here's the on button, and you can adjust how many hours. Let's just give it 1 hour. And then you can turn the heat up or down. Let's see, it's hard to see where it is. But I don't want it too hot or you'll get a burnt smell. There, now I see it's all the way down. I'll turn it up a little less than half. And there, I can walk away and forget about this, and it will go off on its own in an hour. There's so many ways you can warm moist incense, and my cat is interested in this way. Okay, I got this thing from Bed Bath & Beyond. It's for warming some kind of scented wax pellets. I don't really know, but it works nicely for moist incense. So basically, take off the lid and you put one of your pellets in, or even more than one, and put the lid on and turn it on. And there it is. If you're looking for an inexpensive way to warm moist incense, you can always get from, just some place that sells essential oils or that sells various other scented things. Excuse me, you can get one of these warmers for essential oils that you just put a tea candle in, and then you can put the incense pellet in there and it will heat up. You don't have much temperature control, so if you do start smelling a burnt smell, that means it's getting too hot, but most of the time it will work. Another relatively inexpensive method to heat moist incense is you can get like a pencil holder from stationery store. Here's one kind, here's like another kind. It's just made for holding pencils, and a little piece of aluminum foil and a tea candle. And so what you basically can do is, let's see if I can do this, put the aluminum foil through the holes. You have to get a type that has some holes, and kind of make a little hammock for the incense, and the candles beneath warming it, and then you could put the moist incense right there. So it's not very elegant, but it definitely will work. You can see how you could adjust the height with this one by putting it on a higher level or a lower level. Generally, though, you do want it higher up. You just want it warm. You don't want it really super hot. This form of heating incense is the most elegant, but it also takes the most skill. So one of the things you need is incense charcoal. And so I'm going to take a piece of this charcoal and start heating it. Start lighting it. If I were more skilled, I'd use my chopsticks for everything, but I'm a beginner at this, so what you're going to see is not very elegant. Incense charcoal is something you can buy, and you want a pure charcoal, not with any chemicals added, to help it light. It comes in little bricks, as you can see. The other thing we need is incense ash, which doesn't come from incense. It is made for incense. So you can also buy that. It comes, you know, in various brands and forms, and you want it clean and pure, sifted, and without any odor in it. A third thing you need is a plate. These two are mica plates. Mica is this mineral that makes flat layers or flakes, and it insulates the heat. You can get them framed like that one or unframed. And then instead, some people use a silver plate. That was traditionally also used. Finally, you need some incense. So I have a couple chips of sandalwood, but you could use the moist honey pills, or you could use other kinds of things that you want to heat to release the aroma. So I'm going to turn the charcoal over so that the other side can start to, very bad. I told you I'm a beginner. Okay, so you want to practice, practice, practice before you do this in front of people. Let's see. Okay. You can see where it's lit, it's white, and okay. You can laugh at me. The next thing is I want to fluff up the incense ash so that it's light and airy. So basically we're gonna stir it with the chopsticks in a circle and make sure that it's not compacted or lumpy or anything like that. Okay. Clean the chopsticks. Okay. Let's see if I can put the charcoal in without dropping it again. Okay, so you put that right in the center and press it down flat, and then clean the chopsticks again. Okay. The next step is we need to bury the charcoal in the ash. So we're going to basically rake it up, the ash, over the charcoal. Okay. Now we've got a little mound in the center, but the sides are not very neat. We will fix that in a minute. Okay. Clean the chopsticks. And now what we want to do is check to make sure that the charcoal is in the right place. Plus, we want to open up a little hole for the charcoal. There, I've hit the charcoal. It's about that deep. So that's good. Okay. Now comes the next step that takes a long time and it takes attention, and I'm not going to do it perfectly, but this part is kind of meditative if you're not making a video and if you're not talking. So I'm compressing the incense ash. I fluffed it up before, but now I want to compress it in a specific way. And so I'm just pressing with one chopstick and rotating the bowl and pressing with one chopstick. And so I'm just going to continue to do this and speed up the video so you can see the process, but not have to wait as long as it takes. It may take quite a little bit of time. Other people do it better, but I'll get there eventually. Finally, we need to make sure that the hole does go down to the charcoal because we want the heat from the charcoal to come up the hole. There, I could feel that I hit the charcoal, not the bottom of the bowl, but the charcoal there. Okay. The next thing is to put the plate, the mica plate on top, or the silver plate. I'm going to use the mica plate because then we can see what's going on. If you're good at this, you don't use your fingers because your fingers can leave oils on the plate, which can make a difference. But if you're really good at this, you use there's a special kind of tweezers for this, but they're very hard to use. So I'm just using regular tweezers. And you want to set it down gently, and you still want the hole to be there underneath. So I think that's pretty much of a success. Okay. Then the final thing is to put the incense on top. Yes, I can feel heat coming up. So I could either use the tweezers or I could use the chopsticks. Okay. Let's put this little chip right, not there, right there. And now the heat of the charcoal will come up through the hole and warm this piece of fragrant wood. As the wood warms, its oils or its sap will evaporate into the air and release an aroma that is quite delightful. Sandalwood is very nice. Then the feather is used to clean up, like if I've made any spills, which I have, the feather is used to clean this. So that's the basic way this is done. Of course, you just have to practice a lot to develop skills. After you've got the whole thing set up, then you would either just set it on your desk and have it there while you're working, or you put it on your left hand, and if you're right-handed, and you use your right hand to kind of guide the aroma towards your nose, and then you sniff it. So that's the basic thing. And you try not to exhale on the thing so you don't blow ash around or blow it off. And when you put it down very gently because you also don't want to disrupt the formation that you've had. So this should make fragrance for, an hour or 2 hours, I don't know, until the charcoal goes out. And this is the most elegant way. Like I said, you could put one of the incense pellets on. Maybe you might use the silver plate for that because it will hold it and it won't roll away, or other things. Well, I better practice more. This is a Japanese incense warmer. It's got a nice design. It's got a ceramic container with a little basket that goes around it so that when the container gets hot, you can still pick it up and not burn yourself. There is an incense activity where people would get together in a group and pass the incense around for each person to kind of smell up close, because when you warm incense like this, it doesn't fill the room in the same way that smoky incense does. And so it's got a pretty cool design. You've got inside something to hold the charcoal, and I've lit it and I'm waiting for the charcoal to burn off the black part, which the black part doesn't smell so good. Once it turns white and it's glowing inside, then you don't notice the charcoal odor. And it has this little screen to put on top. Then we're going to use a mica chip to put on the screen, and then the charcoal will heat the mica chip and the incense will go on top to be heated. You could use the moist incense. In Japanese it's called neriko. You could use the little incense balls that we're making in class. You could use chips of fragrant wood like tanchang and chenchang, sandalwood and aqualaria. You could also use something that I've been playing with. It's a less common thing, but this is a little kind of incense cookies that I've made using mako so that it will hold together, and making the dough and then rolling it out, and using cookie cutters to make little, fun shapes, like here's some leaves and some flowers. And so those cookies there have tanchang or sandalwood, and they have rushang, frankincense. And so when you can burn those. You could put them on top of incense ash, for example, and burn them. But I'm tired of choky smoke. So I've really lately preferred the kind of incense that you heat and don't burn. And so you could put these, incense cookies on whatever you're using to warm the incense, and they will release quite a marvelous aroma into the room. So that's what I'm going to do here. But I'm waiting for the charcoal to burn off and become white, so I'll be back for that. You can see the charcoal is not ready yet, but it's getting closer to ready. While I was waiting, I looked around and I found I had made some of these. Aren't they pretty? I think I used a mooncake press, and this one is actually Xiaoyao-san mako, and it could be burnt, but I would probably heat it instead. And so if I'm really stressed out, or if I have a patient coming in that I find very stressful, I could just heat that in the room, and maybe that will help keep my liver in check. Well, it really takes a while for the charcoal to heat up like that, but before I could smell it in the room, and now I can't really smell the charcoal anymore. So I'm gonna put on the little screen with the mica chip, and then I'm going to pick one of the smaller ones, one of the leaves, because there's not too much room there, and put that on and wait for it to make a delicious aroma in the room. So that's this type of thing. I like it a lot. But still, if you're like me and always in a hurry, then the electric ones seem to be the quickest answer. So these are different ways you can heat incense rather than burn incense, and I really do suggest you try it. At first you'll think, I don't smell anything, but then after a while you'll just notice really a divine scent filling the room. So give it a try. I almost forgot. The incense paper that we made, I told you I had a hard time making it so that it didn't smell like burnt paper, but one way you can use it is with heating it rather than burning it, and then it will smell fine. So I'm going to just cut off a square rather than using a whole tab. And so I have a little square of the paper. Oops, slightly too big. I need to cut it a little bit smaller. Sorry. Okay, there. And then I can put that in the incense heater and turn it on and let the aroma eventually fill the room. That's it.